So people were asking me if this constitutes anything illegal, basically. This is Adin Ross, obviously.
Trainwrecks is right. Y'all all got some shit on you and I can't wait for it to drop. Can't fucking wait. Holy shit. Bro, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Oh my God. Hasan, I cannot wait for that. Bro, I'm praying. Yo, I'm praying to God your shit leaks this year. I will pay $1 million. Whoever finds the shit on him, $1 million, swear to God. I locked. I'm praying, bro.
This is fine. It's not ethical, obviously. But people are like, is it defamation and stuff? I really don't think it is. There's a suggestion that Hasan bad or whatever. Obviously the statements are to a degree defaming, but the suggestion at all that there is like an absence of evidence, like literally saying like I'm paying for any evidence about a thing is like one of the most ancient fucking like content deals, period. It's usually indicative of bad journalism, or bad reporting or bad fucking information gathering, because clearly you're trying to pay for evidence. But it's and I explained this, it's basically the same thing as give me pictures of Spider-Man. I need pictures of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Find me pictures of Spider-Man doing something illegal. We're putting it on the front page right here. Spider-Man, masked menace, destroys bank. You know, that kind of stuff. J. Jonah Jameson's always libeling Spider-Man. I think because specifically in certain contexts, he's like, the only thing that he can do, because he's masked, he's anonymous, the only thing that he could do is reveal his name and his identity. So he's got him in a kind of a catch-22 type deal. It's bad, obviously, to do, but the thing about, especially because these are Americans, the thing about defamation in America, this would be like a libelous statement because it's recorded, is that the First Amendment is very, very protective of statements. It just like literally is super protective of your actual rights to free speech. So saying, I believe that something is happening, and I will offer money for proof of it, kind of shows that you're in a weird way doing due diligence. I'm pretty sure you could pay for a lawyer if for some reason Hasan sued him. And the lawyer would say a number of things. First off, like the actual malice standard, I don't think can be met. Because it's not like you're trying to destroy Hasan's reputation. You just already think his reputation is bad and you're trying to like double down and prove it. But also it's your opinion that he's doing something and you're searching for evidence and you're putting out a bounty for evidence, which would be very, very like diminishing. You know what I mean? It still could be construed as harassment and stuff, but also like the type of people that are involved changes it up too. If you put out like $1 million bounty on like, I want to know who sent these ballots in for that last election. You know, Donald Trump putting out kind of a spiritual bounty on people like that. That's different because people don't have an expectation to privacy, or people have an expectation to privacy, especially like literally private individuals. With someone like Hasan, they don't. And for Hasan to prove that anything that Adin Ross did was damaging would be next to impossible. You libel people all the time. Like, just if you create a record where you're derogatory in your statements to somebody, you're very likely libeling them to some degree. Now, whether or not you committed libel would be up to like the courts to decide, basically. And your defense would be on the standards of defense that are usually brought up, which would be, you know, is the statement true? Is one of them. Did you know that the person who said the statement or wrote the statement, created the record of the statement, reasonably believed that the statement was untrue? So like that's a major aspect. If you deeply believe it and you've been provided no counter evidence, that's like one of the things. So like, by the way, welcome Sam Beldam, new member. So basically like, if you deeply believe, you know, if you say something like, you're going to go to hell because you're a sinner, and God says that you're a sinning whore and you're going to go to hell because you deserve to go to hell and you deserve to burn as the sinning whore you are, that's protected speech, even though it's like disgusting and it is defamatory and libelous to call somebody that, but it's actually your like legitimate belief that it's true. And so it's hard to put a squelch on that kind of, because you have to like shut up so many other people and put such a damper on free speech in order to pursue that one bad action that it's really not worth it for people. what's the context with Adin and Hasan? Hasan called out Adin Ross for giving Donald Trump an expensive watch, a gift on stream, which Hasan believes violates FEC guidelines, Federal Election Commission guidelines on donations and gifts. That might be the case. That's not for me to know. That's a hard one to look up. Donald Trump is probably breaking so many FEC violations. It would be hilarious that Adin Ross got him hung up. But he said, like, yeah, Adin Ross gave him a Rolex that he thinks, I believe he said he thinks it's in excess of like the 10K or 5 or 3K, whatever the limit is, of several $1,000s for the value of a gift. He crossed it by giving it to him. Donald Trump isn't the sitting president right now, and it's not really like a campaign donation. It's like a private gift between two people. I think it would be pretty reasonable to argue that that's not the case, and it's just such a small fry thing when you get into the, Donald Trump is probably done campaign. He's definitely done some campaign finance violations here and there. A lot of politicians do. And the people that investigate those things, which is, the FEC and I think the FBI specifically does it. They're busy looking for like high dollar issues. And I think something that's as goofy as this, they might not give a shit about. They probably would have already released a statement or something, or it'll be appended to something else. I'm not gonna say it's an absolute nothing burger, but I just don't think it's as big of a deal. It's illegal according to much smarter people. Probably, maybe. I don't know. But like, ultimately, I think it's probably not as big of a deal. Not because it's not illegal or it is illegal or whatever. I think it's just, it's the and jaywalking. When you get charged with like murder, assault, and jaywalking. I think that this one's an and jaywalking. So it just is what it is. It became a content cycle for a second, but then Adin Ross fired back at Hasan with a like, I know you're a pedophile. You have to be. I just can't wait till that shit drops on you. I'll give anybody $1 million to drop that shit. Which is all untoward, but the thing is at this level of like communication between people like this, it's basically like fucking K-fob all the time. And you would have to prove that seat sniffing literal moron Adin Ross knew a thing at all and was cogent of it, and then that him saying that thing harmed Hasanabi's reputation in any valuable way, which is impossible. I don't think it caused any effect at all. So it's kind of just like a bunch of pants pissing at a high level. It doesn't mean anything that happened was like legal or anything like that, but sometimes, a lot of times, especially when you're talking about rich people and influential people and people with like a big platform, it being bad or it being illegal or it being an issue doesn't actually mean that anyone's going to give a fuck about it or do anything, because either there's like more stuff going on or it's such a drop in the bucket for these individuals that they'll basically like pay for it to go away or just ignore it. And it's just a waste of time to pursue. So Adin Ross bribed Trump with a Rolex to appear in his video. Teflon Don will report on his taxes this year per prior history. I think what Donald Trump would probably say in response to that was he gave it back. Here's the other thing about a gift is you have to keep it. Just getting a gift doesn't mean that you've done it. That's the other thing with this shit. You can get illegal gifts, and if you give them back, it's not an illegal gift anymore. So he even might keep it. They have to prove that he has it still is the issue. So Adin Ross gives it to him, and he's like, "Well, I didn't. It's political speech at the time. I didn't want to embarrass him on TV. He was very excited. He didn't know any better. He's a very special little boy." And he didn't know enough. And I talked to him and I said, I'm going to give this. I have a lot of Rolexes. I have so many Rolexes. I have better watches. I eat Rolexes for breakfast. I gave it back to him. I just didn't want to embarrass him on film. And like, that's basically what they'll say. People receive illegal gifts all the time, not knowing it, and give it back. One that I saw in a report, I can't remember exactly what the circumstance about it was, but I just remember it because it was like one of those, it seems ridiculous. there was basically I was reporting on whatever. These people threw a party, right? And they were low-level politicians, and someone brought a $3,000 bottle of champagne to celebrate, right? And like, hey, this is an event for like political shit. Somebody from outside brought it as a gift, and it was like, it's a $3,000 bottle of champagne, blah, blah, blah. You know, this is for you. And they had already opened it and people had drank it, but they didn't say it was $3,000 before the person accepted the gift. And so while they did accept an illegal gift, they shared it with everybody and they said they didn't understand that it was $3,000. And because it was an expendable product, they used it and didn't understand. And I think they had to pay like a small fine or something. If that. But it was basically like a nothing burger because even though it wasn't a legal gift, even though they received it, even though they used it, you know, at this official event, they basically said like, I didn't fucking know it was who buys $3,000 champagne? Like I literally, the argument is I didn't know it was $3,000 because I don't buy that kind of stuff. And I didn't recognize the name of it because it's expensive. I can't tell one champagne from another, and because they used it and because everybody else got a part of it too, they were like, I didn't know. You just cop to it and then you're like, my bad. And like stuff like that happens. It's white collar crime is not like blue collar crime. Like it really just isn't, where blue collar crime is like, well, sorry, bud, that's 25 to life, which people get excited for. Like I want to see a rich person take a fucking spill, right? I got him dead to rights. And then like you do. And then they go, oh yeah, okay, my bad. And then they pay like a $2,000 fine and they walk away. Like, or they just give stuff back. You know what I mean? They issue an apology and then it's cool. High level property crimes and shit like that are weird. My dog Checkers, what? Apparently he took it back and said he'd give it to Baron, LOL, in the Cybertruck to his dad. That might actually be bad. But yet again, if it's on camera and stuff, that's one thing. The actual investigation will take fucking forever because it's an FEC investigation. And, you know, he can literally just say he didn't kick it, or he can just give it back. You know what I mean? Donald Trump can literally argue not understanding you broke a law is actually a defense for a lot of laws. Not for obviously like immediately obvious laws. You know what I mean? Like killing people, most high tier offenses, theft and shit. Things that children should know are wrong, that are kind of like endemically wrong to the human spirit, obviously. But like certain, especially not laws that require you to have an understanding of the situation, it is a reasonable defense to say you didn't understand the situation. Because like if it's like a bad actor, right? It's like specifically with libel. With libel, you have to show, in America at least, actual malice, which shows an intent to violate, right? That's the mens rea of it. And it's very, very, like, important to it. So that's why you can't, like, sue, you know, you're walking down the street and some fucking street preacher, you know, a mentally unwell person just starts saying, like, you know, you're a pedophile, I saw you murder somebody in 1922, you have the face of the devil, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you took that person to court, even that person had, like, $1 million to get sued from or something like that. Like, it was enough money to, like, win the case against them. The argument would still be, like, this person literally cannot understand the law, and they don't even know what they're saying. So, like, it's fine. As opposed to if that person murdered somebody, like, yeah, this guy's got to go to fucking jail and stay in there because this is crazy. Taxes ignorance can be a defense. Yeah, I mean, it's just literally. You only get to use the ignorance defense like the one time, but still. And with laws like campaign finance, which are book thick, you know, it is what it is. And literally all he has to do is give it back. And then he's good. Like that. You can't say that I got the influence and then I gave everything back. And then it's like, oh, well, you got bribed. Like I gave it back when I found out it was wrong. All the stuff that he says during it, he can say like, oh yeah, well, you know, we were going along with it. And then I realized it was wrong after the video. I didn't put the video out. He did. And he just wanted to seem cool. But we had a conversation. I gave it all back. I just said no. Actually, I paid it for. I really like the watch. I really like the little Cybertruck. He made it for me. It was a gift. But I said I can't accept it. I have a lot of money. I can't accept it, but I'll buy it from you. because it's a nice thought, but I want to compensate you. Now it's free trade. I paid him for it. I have a receipt. That might be illegal actually as well to some degree, but that's where the difficulty of like saying like these things are headshots. You know what I mean? It might be. Everyone's really fucking dumb over there, so he might not talk his way out of these. He's like, it should be legal. I like this ugly fucking car. I could drive the nicest cars in the world. I have 3 Rolls Royces. I'm going to drive whatever this is, a tissue box cover. I'm going to drive a commemorative Back to the Future 3 tissue box cover from 1994. I'm going to get in it. I'm going to make it go with my own feet. Are you out of your fucking mind?